Hi guys, I'm Shmee. Good afternoon to you and welcome back to the channel, especially you guys. You know who you are, the early squad. I appreciate your support as always. And today you're in for a bit of a treat because behind me is the Bentley Emirates showroom, the world's largest Bentley showroom with 7 floors in total, loaded with different Bentleys. But we're here today to see one car in particular, one brand new and very special car, because the launch event has just been held for the new Bentley Grand Convertible by Mulliner. It's a return to coach building with a car of which only 90 will be built, and it costs over £2 million. Before that, you get the epitome of luxury and exclusivity. Now the car's on display inside. I think we should go in and take a look, and I can show you a first ever tour of the new Grand Convertible by Mulliner. Before we even get inside, this building itself is spectacular. The whole exterior facade, the front of the showroom that you can see, illuminates in various different shades of green by night. The colour, of course, of Bentley, and it looks wonderful. And then as you walk towards the building, which has those 7 stories of new cars, used cars, storage down below, another feature I think is particularly special is this fountain that you can potentially just about see reads "Welcome to Bentley" in the water that falls down. Well, let's head in, where there are a number of cars here that we can come back and check out afterwards, but I'm going to make a beeline straight upstairs to go and find the new car. Here it is then, the ultimate luxury statement, the Bentley Grand Convertible by Mulliner, and we can take a walk around and I can show you this car in all its detail. Now, it's loosely based, of course, on the Mulsanne, so you'll recognize the shape and styling, but there are differences, of course, to make this. But what it represents is something more special, I suppose, inside. There are only going to be 19 made to signify Bentley Motors being founded in 1919, coming up for their centenary, 100 years old in 2019. So the first cars will be delivered in 2019 and the final cars delivered in 2020. But just taking a walk around, it has that grand, majestic styling, the open top for 4 seats, all with the wind in the hair. Just imagine a grand touring cruise inside this car, and you have a quick glance here at the interior, where it is all about luxuriousness and the finish and the materials and the detail. So let's come and have a quick look around the front, where behind, by the way, we can see a regular wheelbase Mulsanne and also the Mulsanne extended wheelbase, which is 25 centimeters longer than the standard car. This car is in fact 10 centimeters shorter, slightly shortened towards the rear of the car that we'll talk about in a moment. But you come around the front and it has that facelifted new look, quite sophisticated yet stylish. If I come into the headlights, which have the running lights glowing around them, you can see the detail inside there with the Bentley logo across the center, the wide front grille with the vertical slats throughout it, and then the flying B sitting at the front of the car. Lower down again, more chrome finish. I particularly like that detail representing the B of the Bentley logo down there as well for the airflow and design styling around the front end of the car. And this car's finished in Moroccan blue, a very nice contrast to the frosted silver around the bonnet, around the grille and the windscreen surround, and matching perfectly with the chromed finish on the wheels and also the other accent colors as we move around the car. But again, you'll recognize the flying B shape down there on the lower sides of the car, leading into that silver trim that heads towards the rear wheels. As we come round towards the back, though, again, it is very majestic. A large rear. Of course, the roof will be a folding fabric roof system, and that's actually quite a significant part of this car. But I love these Bentley B details everywhere you look around the car, and the rear tail lights there as well. But one particular highlight is this piece here, the largest piece of wood that can be used in automotive manufacture, finished with chrome-covered steel metal strips on the top of it. But that is one single large piece on the rear deck that tucks away with the roof folding in underneath it. But you look at the car, it's just very grand, as the name suggests. This new line is sharpened from before, and the way it comes round is done with superformed aluminium to get this radial edge, which is only 3 millimeters instead of 6 millimeters in previous engineering and development, and it just sharpens it up a little bit and makes it look a little bit more, I'd say, progressive. And more poised almost. Then we come round to the rear, have a full look all the way around the car. It is just the kind of car you can imagine driving somewhere in lovely weather, 4 people in the car, wind in your hair, just making a luxurious statement. And the exclusivity side of the car, with only 19 being built, and of course to Bentley's top customers, they are very few and far between, and that's because it's hand-built, it's a coach-built product by Mulliner, so it's not a Bentley mainstream production line vehicle. It's sort of effectively a one-off, but there will be 19 of them to celebrate that anniversary. So very, very, very rare, and the colours are really quite nice on this car. As we come and have a better look at the interior though, it is made using the finest bull hides, 14 hides for the car, and the colour on this is called linen. Confusingly, it's a slightly beigey, off-beige shade, but goes really nicely against the blue on the exterior. And most of what you see in here is familiar from the Mulsanne Speed. It's spec'd equivalently to that in the sense of having just about every option that the car has available, just the parts that can be configured for customer versions of the Grand Convertible come in the sense of the colours, the material choices, and the cosmetic options rather than the technology options. So there's a good level of that going on in here as well. But everything you look at is just in traditional Bentley style, very, very nice to touch and feel. Finest materials and woods carrying on out throughout the car. So to make it slightly shorter, that extra length is cut out from approximately here, just in front of the rear haunches, but you do still have fairly reasonable legroom available for the rear passengers to sit in there comfortably too. Naturally, there's a name sound system, nothing but the best hay, so it is slightly shorter in terms of wheelbase and overall length. We should talk a little bit also about what is in here. It is the engine shared from the Mulsanne Speed, which is a 6 3/4 litre twin-turbocharged V8, 537 PS, which is 530 brake horsepower, and 1,100 Newton meters of torque. It is a very, very torquey engine, which means effortless power, the kind of gliding effortlessness you want in this kind of vehicle. So it's all about the styling, it's about the exclusivity, the luxuriousness, and the statement piece it makes. And with so few ever available, it's an inevitable future classic collection piece as well. The Grand GT, Grand Tourer style of Bentley Grand Convertible. I think grand is the perfect word to really summarise this vehicle, isn't it, as you look around it. You may remember that about 3 years ago, in 2014, an earlier version of this car was shown. Bentley took the then Grand Convertible concept to Pebble Beach in the USA, followed by the LA Motor Show. But this is, of course, based on the newer facelifted Mulsanne. It's been refreshed, and now this car is going to be entering this very, very limited build run of just 19 cars, following demand from that original model. While we're here also though, let's take a quick look at the 2 other vehicles. Well, there are 3 in fact, but firstly, the regular Mulsanne, the regular wheelbase Mulsanne. And of course, big differences to make the Grand Convertible are the regular Mulsanne has a slightly more vertical windscreen. The Grand Convertible is raked down 1 degree versus this car to give it a slightly sportier look, but much the same familiar style that we can see. Of course, the big differences come towards the rear with the absence of the rear doors and the change in the shape of the line. And you can see here this line continues down the whole length of the car, whereas on the Grand Convertible it has that kickback. Coming around to the rear though, very similar, familiar rear end look and style and feel on that car. And then we look also at the extended wheelbase, as I mentioned, 25 centimeters longer. There is also the Grand Limousine we should talk about, which was another commission by Mulliner, akin to the Grand Convertible, but the Grand Limousine was another additional 75 centimeters longer than this car, and only 12 of them were built in total compared to this. But there's one more over at the far end I'd like to show you. This is the Hallmark Mulsanne Extended, and I want to show you some of the exclusive touches from Mulliner, as well as exploring the room behind, the Mulliner room, where you can see all of the different options that you can configure on a car. And it starts right around the front with the golden flying bee sitting atop the chrome front grille. But I also quite like the integration of the front camera there, almost not noticeable until you're that close up towards the car. But being the extended car, of course, it is rather long. It has the curtains just inside for privacy, but we'll come around to the other side to check out the interior. As I do so, I can see the painted pinstripes that run along the lines, the strong lines over the haunches of the car on the sides there. come round and have a look at the interior of this vehicle, where you're greeted by a very comfortable and luxurious interior. And you can see one seat in the regular position, one in the lounge position, lower leg rest and support up, and the front seat move forwards. Plenty of space and room and general comfort. And I rather like those illuminated Hallmark door sills that you have there, surrounded by the silver. And generally, the interior of this, look at this, in the center console for your glasses and your drinks there, and that can store away and be hidden at the back. And you've also got the control panel here for all of your seat functionality and massaging seats and everything you can imagine, with that folding over to cover that up as well, if that's how you want it. Let's open those back up for now and keep everything on show. Just look at that, very, very nice, the finish. Soft headrests. Another touch I quite like is this golden stripe down the top of the door card trim with the Bentley logo in the center. Very, very smart. And I should add, one of 50 of the Hallmark editions from Mulliner. So this is more a heavy bespoke version of what Mulliner can offer in the regular car, rather than the completely coach-built vehicle we've just been looking at. And then you get to the options that you can have on your car, and you just start looking at the paint colors. You name it, you can have it. Tough choice. I might be swayed towards that one, but there are some lovely, lovely shades of different colors available here. That looks rather nice as well for the cars. And then you can start talking custom embroideries, custom trims, stitching. If we open up here, we can have a closer look at a different storage option for a fridge with your drinks. That's lovely. Very easy, very smooth, different woods. You can even mix the woods, have custom cushions. That's quite nice. Paperweight style. The world's most expensive child seat, no doubt, finished in traditional Bentley quality and style with the diamond quilting. And then you get to different inlays and things as well. So many options and configurable aspects. Clock, Breitling for Bentley. The options are endless if you're speccing up a new car for what you might want to have in it. Returning to the Grand Convertible for one last look, I just wanted to take in again myself the stitching style on here, which I think is very, very elaborate and ornate and nicely styled, and you can see that continues exactly the same through to the rear. But this is a very, very special, future, classic, rare, exclusive car, so lovely to be able to have the opportunity to look at it. And I'd be very interested to hear what you guys think about this car and about the concept of Mulliner, for example, coach building and creating these exclusive vehicles. But for the moment, let's head downstairs and have a look at some of those cars as well. We return then to this line of cars downstairs, starting with the new Super Sports, the 700 horsepower W12 monster that I enjoyed driving quite recently. Then next to that, also a W12, is the Continental GT Speed, coupe and convertible available of that car. Then next, we get to the V8S. Now, when I drove the V8S, I think the lighter weight over the front end made the car handle a little bit better and feel more sprightly. It was very enjoyable. And this car, with the dark blue paintwork, also has some royal blue accents around the car, along the sides and around the windows. And I can tell you from looking before, quite a special interior as well. So again, through the bespoke departments of Bentley, Mulliner, for example, allowing various different options depending how you want your car, beyond just choosing a different paint colour, for example, although that is a very, very nice colour. Then we just move to a couple of other cars that are available here in the showroom, including at the very back, Bentayga. I like the colour combination of the grey and then coming through to look at this interior, the dual tone interior, although maybe not necessarily to everyone's taste. I think it's nice to have a bold interior if you have a more plain exterior. Anyway, that is it. The car's here. Oh, the W12S on the Flying Spur. Have a quick look at the Flying Spur just so you can see the differences to the Mulsannes that we've been looking at, which are the category above this car, I suppose you could say. I shall wrap up today's video there. I hope you've enjoyed this opportunity to take a first look at that new car, at the Bentley Grand Convertible by Mulliner. I certainly have. I think it is a very, very, very special car, and if you're after literally that level of luxuriousness and exclusivity, that is the kind of car that ticks the boxes. They will probably never go for sale on the used market. It's not that kind of car. They will go to homes where they will be kept, collections maybe around the world. Anyway, a big thanks to Bentley Emirates and to Bentley. What a spectacular showroom as well to take a look at. Later on this evening, it will be lit up. I'll have to come back another day to see that. Anyway, thank you very much to you guys too for following these adventures out here in Dubai. Make sure you continue to be subscribed and click the little bell below as well to get notifications on all of my latest videos here on the Shmee 150 channel from Dubai and from wherever my next adventures take me. Anyway, that's it for this time. Thanks again, guys. That's it. I'll see you soon. Cheers.